Hey folks, Michael Mann from Michael Mann Security Services. Welcome to Methods of Entry for Immediate Responders. Okay. Hey, you can get us at contact@michaelmannsecurityservice.com, or you can always call me directly, 615-956-3912. Let's get into it, guys. First time joining us, immediate responders are armed security personnel. They're going to respond to that hostile area when there's an active assailant event occurring, and your job is to try to isolate the adversary, prevent him or her from becoming mobile, and if necessary, neutralize the adversary. We can do this with solo responders, your basic immediate responder. If there's 2+, obviously you're an IRT or immediate response team. All right. So let's get into a review from last week. We talked about assault plans or the assault process. First two steps in that assault process is number one, we've always got to maintain access to the target area. And number two, we got to be able to gain entry into that crisis location. So it's important we start talking about methods of entry. The first two steps of that plan, you got to be able to get into these CTAs or critical target areas. Okay. Now, the ways that we normally do that, like for us, there's two methods of entry. Now, again, this is for us, armed security personnel, police officers working off duty, that church security volunteer. You know, if we get into other professions and like guarding, like critical infrastructure, there's going to be some other methods, right? But just us. So there's going to be manual and there's going to be force. So manual is I use a token like a badge or a key to get into the door because we're security. We have access that way, right? Then there's force, like, so for whatever reason, like the token or the key's not going to work because something bad has happened. Okay. And so the immediate responders should have a plan for forced entry at the location you're protecting because bad things could happen. This happened at Virginia Tech. The adversary at Virginia Tech, student there, planned this, barricaded doors up, and it delayed the responders who were actually like down the road investigating a murder that he had committed that morning to kind of throw the police departments off. And so he knew they would be there quickly as soon as he started shooting. So he planned around the armed response. That happens. Okay. So let's talk about this forced entry piece. So this is where, like in Virginia Tech, the adversary barricades a door and we got to force our way in. Now, normally for us, based on resources and availability of resources, we're talking about probably mechanical entry. We're not going to have torches and cutting tools and like explosive entry. That's probably not going to happen when we talk about armed security personnel protecting a building or even off-duty police officer or like security volunteers at a church, right? So we defeat the target, which is the door, by breaking, cutting, or prying through that barrier. Okay. So this is why the target folder number one is important. And we're going to do a vulnerability assessment. You see VA there to eliminate any potential obstacles. So it's the assessment and elimination of potential obstacles because a vulnerability is something the adversary is going to use to put some sort of an obstacle in our way so we can't protect the facility, right? It's something that they do to make themselves successful in the attack. So we want to eliminate those. So that's why your target folder is important and why you want to do this assessment to eliminate it. Sometimes we can eliminate, depending on, we don't own the facility. We're just there 8 hours out of the day, whatever. There's a lack of budget, like we don't have a lot of say-so, but just understand if we can, we would want to try to eliminate this, okay? Now, some entry tools for you guys. Now, I've got on here sledgehammer. You don't have to have a Blackhawk sledgehammer for $250. Go to Lowe's or Home Depot. You can go buy a heavy sledge. It is going to help you get into doors, and you could actually use that sledge both as a braking tool and as a battering ram. You can use that to actually, if it's heavy enough and you've got gloves, especially with some of the doors you guys are probably dealing with, that can be effective as a battering ram. Okay. You also can get pry tools to pry doors. So for outward opening doors, right? So we could use a sledge or a battering ram for those inward doors, inward opening. Outward opening doors, we would need pry tools. Same way, guys, you don't have to go to the fire department and steal, some sort of a tool from them or go to Blackhawk and spend $200 on a pry tool. There's pry tools you can buy at Lowe's or Home Depot, the DIY stores that will accomplish this mission. Okay. And then, of course, like bolt cutters to get through chains or locks. So those are some basic tools and basically where you could get those. Because again, I understand, folks, your company, your organization, or your department may not be providing all this. And man, these are expensive, right? Okay. There is a checklist included in this. You can download that in the link that you see as you clicked onto the video. If you have any questions, you can get us at contact@michaelmannsecurityservice.com. You can always call me at 615-956-3912. Now, remember, May 25th, here at the end of this month, we're going to have this immediate responder course and certification. It is a day, it's a long day of squeezing all this in. And I'm going to talk about methods of entry, talk about how to use and show you guys how to use some of these tools and write these both target folders and assault plans. Okay. And remember, folks, it is about prevention, not response.